We all got here the same way. A man and a woman have a sexual union, and 9 months later, a new life is formed. Our desire for sex is nearly as powerful as our desire to eat, a natural urge all of us share and must exercise in some form or fashion. Boys in their teenage years are under heavy peer pressure to get involved with the opposite sex and even embark on a sexual experience. You haven't become a man and gained rite of passage amongst your peers until this sexual experience has taken place. Sex nowadays is everywhere, in movies, television, literature, music, but most notably on the web. With a decent internet connection, you're just a click away from endless amounts of visual sexual stimulation at no cost other than paying your internet service provider. This particular activity, however, is seen as a sign of weakness and social ineptitude. Pornography is perceived to be used as a replacement for a physical relationship with a woman by those incapable of forming a social connection with the opposite sex. There are indeed issues with frequent use of pornography. You're not developing the interpersonal skills you need to navigate the social landscape which being in a relationship with a real person will require. You run the risk of distorting your physical expectations of women and making it difficult to be satisfied with the physical flaws of an astral female body. Erectile dysfunction and performance issues can result from getting too used to patterns of touch and sensation formed by self-stimulation. Many have been the victim of ridicule from being suspected of viewing pornography and never having a real sexual experience. Much of this social hazing comes from people who have had numerous sexual partners but have never been married, or were once married but are now divorced. Fact is, neither position is a positive position to be in. There are actually two sides of the same coin. Again, using pornography in place of an actual relationship is very unhealthy. Equally unhealthy, however, is innumerable meaningless sexual partners with no intent on marriage. We all got here by a man and a woman having sex, but we have a functioning civilization by those same two people forging a family bond and rearing productive members of society. Socially scourging someone to drop the porn and find a female is going from the frying pan to the fire. The weeb virgin and F-boy are essentially the same. There is no fundamental difference between sitting around doing nothing and going out and doing nothing. In either case, nothing gets done. There is no difference between watching a whore on your computer screen and going to turn a woman into one. Society does not benefit from either. One is useless while the other is a liability. One doesn't produce anything while the other produces waste. In an upright society, both would be equally contemptible and despised. The family unit is the building block of civilized society, which is why sex, in and of itself, is at best meaningless and at worst destructive outside of its proper and naturally intended context of family creation and bonding between husband and wife. One way to combat those seeking to ridicule someone for being a virgin porn watcher is to ask, "How long have you been married?" Or, "What do you do for a living?" What you're trying to find out is what way is this person producing value with their sexual activity or outside of their sexual activity. If their sexual activity isn't being exercised within marital bonding or producing children, they don't have anything over you. Outside of marriage, sex is not a productive activity. It doesn't actually benefit anyone, and in most cases is harmful. People say we're sexual beings. This is wrong. We're creative beings. We can look out on the current society and see how destructive it is to believe we're merely sexual beings by how many broken families there are and the type of people this produces. We were made to be creative in building and producing value for ourselves and others. I'm not trying to stick up for the porn-watching virgin. Far from it. As I said, weeb virgin and F-boy are the same. Neither is worse or better than the other. They are accomplishing the same thing in a different way, which is nothing. Sex is not the vital activity it has been made out to be by all the various forms of media and social milieu. It has its place, like going to the bathroom has its place. Not relieving yourself can have dire consequences. Not having sex won't hurt you at all. Show me someone who is focused on sex, and I'll show you someone who isn't very productive. One's social skills being stunted by porn addiction does not help to form the foundation of a thriving civilization. Making women ineligible for wifehood through meaningless sex does equal societal harm. They are both losers. They are both socially inept. Marriage, family, and legacy is how you form thriving, civilized societies. Weeb and F-Boy can't produce this by the way in which they engage in their sexuality. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do better.